Welcome back to Listen Up Podcast by What She Said Sports. Overcoming public disrespect by your partner. We discussed previously that public disrespect is intentional. It's not a mistake at all. It's a way for the person who disrespects you to let the world know how they feel about you. And usually this only happens when the person who is being disrespectful believes that you won't do anything about it, meaning they could disrespect you publicly without consequence and you would just take it. So we're talking about Travis Hunter and his fiance. It's 2025, a short 45 to 60 days before their wedding. And Travis Hunter and his fiance were seen publicly by many for the first time since the spectacle following one of Travis Hunter's best college games where he clinched the Heisman with his performance versus Oklahoma State University. But seeing Travis now, he looks different, standing up straighter. When the two are together, walking, they're walking together. Travis looks confident, appears to be leading, no longer looking to her for his cues on how to behave. Instead, she was, in fact, looking to him for confirmation on her behavior. So maybe the breakthrough was therapy, maybe individual therapy for Travis. That's the hope. And couples therapy prior to getting married, after the repeated public disrespect, leaving the internet feeling exasperated. Which started out with good intentions was the internet showing concern for Travis after the Oklahoma State game. And Travis's response, oftentimes very off putting, towards the internet turned the internet cold. In fact, it seemed that Travis and the fiance attempted to silence content creators who were sharing verifiable information regarding his fiance's past. And trying to silence the internet and going to war with your fans and the internet proved to be unsuccessful for Travis to the point where he had to shut down his social media. Now, with Travis Hunter being a top five prospect in the NFL draft and having several major endorsements, going dark on social media was not permittable. He had to return to social media, but this time without his fiancee. There was no sight of them as a couple until now. Following the Heisman, it seemed that they decided to keep her out of camera's view. And at the time, it was a really good choice. But seeing them again at the 7-on-7 game for Travis's younger sibling, Travis Hunter, Travis looked different. He walked tall. He was confident. They were walking together. She seemed softer. She presented his brother with a rose, which was beautiful, a beautiful gesture from someone who was seen on camera disparaging a teenager's looks. At the time, young Travis, who's now 17, was approximately maybe 14, maybe 15, when she said he was ugly. And people, fans, did not like that. And when combined with her statement of Travis not being her type, her actions were called into question, her motivation, her intention. It was beginning to seem that with the public disrespect, disparagement of his brother's looks and features, which Travis also shares, and then very boldly stating that Travis was not her type. people question, was she there for the ride to the NFL to gain wealth by exploiting Travis Hunter? Not just being with him with ill intentions, but publicly humiliating him at his highest of highs after the Oklahoma State game, trying to have a meltdown on the field when she should have been celebrating him at one of his best moments in college football, on to the Heisman, with Travis's head coach, Deion Sanders, ushering her to stand up and clap for him and be happy for him. Seemingly making everything about herself. At another award ceremony, the camera goes to her and she just looks as if she just can't take the joy and celebration geared towards Travis. Now, getting married in about a month and a half, this typically is not the type of behavior you would see from a couple getting ready to take their vows and spend the rest of their lives together. It wasn't giving love, it was giving tolerance. And it just seemed that young Travis just didn't have the experience to understand that if he had boundaries, they were being disrespected and disregarded. There were rules set for the relationship, mostly to benefit his fiance and not to benefit Travis. In fact, the rules were made to put Travis on a leash. It appeared in the video that Travis was indeed in a one sided relationship. And at the time, he seemed thrilled to be in a one sided relationship. And people questioned his intellect, they questioned his experience in a relationship because he was so steadfast and stubborn and refusing to listen to wise counsel. His mentor in Coach Prime, whose life was essentially unfolding as a mirror for Travis Hunter's own life. But it's as if Travis Hunter was looking in the mirror and choosing to cover his eyes and not learn from Coach Prime on the field and off the field. Travis Hunter committed to Florida State because he wanted to be like the best Deion Sanders. And when Coach Prime began coaching at Jackson State and Travis Hunter had the opportunity to change his commitment, he did, citing that he wanted to learn from the best. So he flipped his commitment from Florida State to Jackson State and began to soak up knowledge as if he were a sponge. And when they all went to Colorado, Travis Hunter became the best two-way player in college football. We knew Travis was confident about his abilities on the field. I liken him to a football savant. Everybody's happy for him. We all want him to win the Heisman. And on the last game for Oklahoma State, he clinches it with his performance. And instead of being greeted with joy and tears of joy and laughter and celebration, he was being reprimanded. He was given a talking to with cameras on national networks pointed directly in his face. And for the first time, we saw Travis deeply affected by his fiance's public disrespect towards him. So we fast forward to the 7-on-7 game where Travis and his fiancee are walking in alignment, Travis looking confident, standing upright, no longer looking to her for confirmation on his behavior, but rather she appears softer and looking to Travis for cues on her behavior. It's given the impression that there's been many conversations, that boundaries are now in place. Self worth is apparent. Travis has taken the lead. We can hope that it was individual therapy for Travis with the wedding fast approaching. We can hope that it was couples counseling. But whatever it was, it could just be prayer and Bible study has made a difference. Now, one of the reasons it's great that they're back outside as a couple is because they resorted to keeping her inside and away from the cameras. And Travis was making solo appearances. And maybe those were consequences, or maybe it was the best scenario for Travis's career and draft projection for her not to be there. So choosing to come back outside together to his brother's game gave them the opportunity to put into practice what they have been hopefully learning from therapy individually and as a couple to implement the coping skills that they hopefully have learned since they were on hiatus from the public. The draft for the NFL begins April 24th. So there's roughly 21 days to the draft. And the best time to find out who it is you're marrying is before you get married. And overcoming public disrespect is not easy. But to see Travis walk in and not show any concern or lack of confidence due to the constant onslaught of commentary from the social media people, I'm sure around, chest out, head up, not showing any signs of caving in. His walk said, yes, I am marrying her. And what it did was it made people took notice of how she seemed softer, allowing him to lead, following his lead with no pretense. They look like a couple, a balanced couple. And Travis is 100% committed to his relationship. Now, honestly, that deserves a pat on the back. Overcoming adversity and overcoming public disrespect in your relationship is something he seems to have conquered. Walking proudly as if I'm not concerned about what you all think. I know what I have going on. But he wasn't dismissive as he was previously. He was confident, something he lacked. He didn't seem to be validated by her presence, something we had seen previously. Instead, he walked as if the relationship is what I want to do, not that I have to do. So, shout out to Travis Hunter for overcoming public disrespect, being 100% committed to your relationship, finding balance. There appears to be boundaries because of she's looking at him for confirmation, which means maybe she has taken accountability for her disrespect, worked on her insecurities, and maybe, like an arranged marriage, she found love. So, just 2 months shy of their wedding, maybe, just maybe, she's in love now. With Travis being so likable before the Oklahoma State game and loved by so many people, the outpouring of care and concern was global. And if he questioned his self worth, the love and care and concern and support that he received eventually should have felt like a virtual hug from the world that was watching. He seems to be in the lead. He seems to be voluntarily in the relationship, not in the relationship out of emotional need, lack of self worth, or desperation or validation. It's like seeing your cousin go through a very difficult period in his relationship with the woman that he so proudly wanted to marry, being publicly lambasted and disrespected, disregarded by his fiance. Stayed out of the spotlight for a while. Apparently, he's done some type of work emotionally on himself and in his relationship, likely establishing boundaries for what he will and will not tolerate in terms of respect and disrespect. And then when you see the couple again, you're like, oh, they're back. But he's different. He's taken the lead. She seems softer, looking to him for confirmation. She makes a nice gesture to his brother. So just maybe, while Travis seems to be growing as a young man, just maybe his fiance has fallen in love.
You let me know your thoughts.
Thank you for listening to the What She Said podcast. Please like and subscribe.